family and friends. But for some, isolation is not new, and they're using their skills to help others handle the strain. Well, joining us now is adventurer Mollie Hughes. Good morning to you, Mollie. You've skied solo to the South Pole. That is true and complete isolation. Describe for us what it feels like.
Yeah, thank you so much. So a year ago today, I actually reached the South Pole for the first time after skiing for 58 and a half days by myself across Antarctica, which was an amazing experience, but so hard just to be completely self-reliant for that whole time in that really harsh environment.
How did you deal with the isolation completely by yourself for so long and in such harsh conditions?
Yeah, it was unbelievably hard. But I think right at the beginning of the trip, I decided that my number one aim of this trip had to be self-care. And that had to be completely looking after myself physically to avoid any kind of injury. Because if I got an injury out of there, that would have been game over. But I think more importantly, the aim was to self-care with my own mental health. Being out there by myself, there was no one else to rely on, no one else to help you out of a situation, to make decisions with. So I knew that was all kind of on me. So self-care for my mental health was so important. And I did that through a few different ways. One of the main ones was by keeping a diary every single night, and I would write down what had happened that day, but also my kind of mindset and how I was feeling emotionally that day. Then I do loads of other kind of things like reaching out to people back home. That was so important. I had a sat phone so I could ring back home, ring my girlfriend or ring my family back home and just kind of run over the day with them or how things were going. And I think kind of leaning on people and reaching out for support and help emotionally was so important out there.
I mean, there must have been some days, though, where you would have felt incredibly low and just thought, you know, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this? What pulled you out of times like those when you were probably really quite desperate?
Yeah, absolutely. And right at the beginning of the trip, I had quite a few of those days because at the beginning of the trip, I had this huge storm kind of rolled in right at the beginning, and I had 8 days of complete whiteout. So basically when a whiteout comes in, it's cloud that's down to about a meter in front of your eyes, and you can't see left, you can't see right, you can't see up or down. And it was 8 days of this complete whiteout. And after kind of getting through that struggle and that storm, I knew I had to kind of pull myself out because I had some really low days. So I actually used positive affirmations to kind of increase my mood and make me feel a little bit better. So that's basically just saying things out loud that are positive about yourself. So I would kind of repeat these mantras over and over in my head as I was skiing along. And one of the most important ones was simply just to say, I am strong. And I would say that over and over again in my head, pulling my huge, heavy sled behind me. And it was amazing how much it worked and how much stronger and happier it actually made me feel.
I mean, I wasn't even there, but just from your description, I feel like crying myself. I mean, it just sounds terrifying. But the skills that you employed there, you're now transferring those and sharing those with people who are coping with isolation at home during lockdown.
Yeah, absolutely. So I work as a motivational speaker, usually on stage in front of audiences, and I love kind of being and meeting people. But this year has been different for everyone. So I've been doing a lot of talks online to school children or to different businesses and companies that want to improve their employees' mental health and give them a bit of a break from everything that's going on this year. So yeah, I've been doing all these kind of presentations and working on headspace, on self-care, on self-belief. And it's been amazing to be able to talk to so many people just from the comfort of my living room and share my stories of expeditions around the world and hopefully give them a little bit of hope and some top tips to get them through this.
And positive affirmations being one of those. Something that should be done out loud, something you say in front of the mirror to yourself every day?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a bit of a weird one because it's not something I would ever have really done myself. I definitely don't have that kind of confidence to look in the mirror and say something positive. But when I was at my lowest point in Antarctica, like unbelievably low, unbelievably scared of everything going on around me and feeling so weak, simply by shouting out loud to Antarctica that I felt strong and I am strong and I can do this, completely turned it around and made me feel a million times better.
What would be your positive affirmation today for anyone to shout out in front of the mirror?
Good question. One that I've kind of been focusing on at the moment is just simply that this storm is going to pass, because it absolutely will pass. Even in the worst of a storm, when you're in the eye of a storm, you have to keep that faith and that hope that it will pass, life will get better, and it will definitely get back to normal.
Mollie Hughes, thank you so much for sharing that inspiration with us. The storm will pass. I like that one. Thank you.